Welcome back, YouTube. We're in our third episode of Let's Try, which is the first time I'm actually calling it that. Today's episode, we have Arielle Shoshana's Discovery set. This is pretty much the days of the week. There's only six, Thursday's not included. So before we get into the actual fragrances, I thought let's give you some info about how I run these videos based on if you're new or if you're not. How I run these videos is pretty much I talk about what I think it might smell like based on whether the notes or something like that, and I smell it and I give you all my honest review. I've been really looking forward to this brand for a little while, so it might have a little bit of bias, but at the same time, that could also work negatively for it because maybe I'm really hoping it's going to be good and it ends up being doggy poo. Um, Either way, yeah, we're going to get into it and let's go. I guess we're technically not going to get into it straight away. There is 6 little boxes for each of them. The order we're going to do it is we're going to start with Friday, then go all the way around to Wednesday so we don't skip a day at all. I'm pretty excited. The only fragrance I know based on notes, at least a general idea, is Monday. That's one I'm really excited for and I really want a full bottle of already. But I mean, this is the deciding factor. What it actually smells like at the end of the day is what really matters. But all I know is that it's supposed to be a really smooth, nice tea scent. So as long as it's not extremely feminine or nasty or anything bad that I don't like, I'll probably end up getting a bottle. Hopefully soon, but you never know. It just depends on how life works out and, the extra funds I got. All right, without further ado, let's get to Friday. All right, guys, this day is Friday. Let's pull it out of its little packaging and talk about how it smells. I'm also going to be putting y'all on my chest so I don't have to hold the mic the entire time. Hopefully y'all can still hear me clearly. I raised my voice a little bit, so that should make it a little bit better. Here we are pulling it out. I have no clue what the actual vials look like, but I mean, of course, it's just going to be a little bit basic. Nothing special to the juice or anything like that. Throw that tester strip to the side. All new tester strip. Ooh, multiple. For me, I think this, I haven't looked at the notes, I'll tell you that. I have not looked at the notes of any of these besides Monday. But I think Friday is going to be a bright, inviting, happy citrus. So, I'm really hoping for that. And if I can get that, then, we're gonna have a great smelling here, at least for Friday. Today is actually Sunday for me. I like to film these videos on either Sunday or Wednesday. That's my days off usually. So I film these as much as I can on those days and pump them out to you the next day or the same day, depending on how fast I'm able to do it. Usually I'll post on Mondays though. I have no clue how to describe this. It almost has like a cardboard type of scent to it, but not necessarily in a bad way, but also not in a good way. It's like a very like relaxed spice with a little bit of cardboard and maybe some lilac and sandalwood in there. I don't know what's in here, but I don't really like it. I mean, if I were to ever own this, it would only be because I want to complete the whole set and have the bottle as well. But not only do I not really see anybody wearing this, it just doesn't seem like I can see anybody fitting with it or it even being a scent that somebody would want to wear. I don't really care for it as a whole. I'm gonna say overall it's like a maybe at the very very most a 1 out of 10. It kind of sucks to start like that. You never want to start with a rough start, especially something that you weren't expecting at all. But yeah, that's just how it goes. You never know what you expect in life, and it's best to just hope for the greatest and be prepared for the worst, but always still want that greatest. That's how it's going for me in life. I was I started selling cars. That's my job. So whenever I first started, this is technically my first month doing it. My goal was just get 3 this month. If I can get 3 this month, then maybe I can get 6 the next, and 7 the one and then 10 the one after that. Just keep progressing, getting better and better and better. But right now I'm at 6, and I have an appointment for number 7 on Monday. So if I can get 8, I'm doing really good. I'll be making great money, especially because the rent and the bills here is it's like nothing. Let's get on to Saturday. All right, guys, this day is Saturday. Looks like another bright pop of color. I'm thinking grapefruit, maybe something a little bit more out there, like maybe a green as well. Who knows? Let's see how it goes. I'm just hoping it's nothing gloomy or anything like that. What does this say? It says the ingredients, but it does not give me the notes, which I love. I don't like whenever a fragrance gives me the notes and stuff like that. I want to, figure it out myself. Of course, there's times when it will be helpful, like if you go back and you watch my most recent YouTube video, the Mischief Academy video. It came with a whole card that explained every one of the fairy tales and their notes that make it, make them them. And I really loved that set, and I will be getting most of those bottles. I'm not sure which one first. Probably the Little Mermaid. I love a good salty aquatic scent, and that's exactly what that is. It smells so luxurious while still smelling so, mass appealing and not like nobody can afford it or stuff like that. And it is affordable, especially if you get the Discovery set first. They give you a $30 code, so I think I'll end up paying $90 for the full bottle whenever I get it. Oh, that smells really nice, but it's kind of interesting. It honestly kind of smells like that cherry cough syrup, but much sweeter. Like it lowers that like medicinal sort of scent to it, or raises up the cherry, and maybe throws in a little bit of grape there. I wouldn't say grapefruit. It's almost got this like tiny bit of spice to it. This is a really good scent. I don't know how often I would wear this because, maybe somebody smells me and they're like, oh, are you drinking cough syrup all day? And I have to tell them, no, it's actually this really cool brand that I've been wearing. And then it's a whole thing, yada, yada, yada. And I don't want to do that. I'm not the type of person to be like, oh, I'm wearing this, I'm wearing that, I'm wearing this, I'm wearing that. That just seems like an type of thing for me to do. I don't like that. But this is pretty good. I don't know how often I would wear this. Probably out of every, 10 wears, this would not be in there. This wouldn't be in my rotation at all. But I will say, every time I look at my collection, if this is there, I'm checking it out because I'm like, man, I want to smell that again. Okay. Could I see a person wearing this? Absolutely. This is definitely much more of a feminine scent, and I can definitely see a lot of females wearing this, maybe not mass appealing to that way, but the certain type of female that would wear it, would love it. It's one of those like cult-like type of scents that's like, it finds its niche in the same way that, there might be incense in here, in the same way that, Santal 33 did, or Vanilla 28, or what's another one? I'm trying to think of, Angel by Mugler. Yeah, like they have their own like sort of like groupings, like people who love them or really, really love them, but the general public does not. So, that's just how it is for me. That's what I see. I'm not somebody who loves it, but I can totally see somebody loving this. All right, on to the next one. This day is Sunday. I imagine Sunday to be a lot more calming, almost to the way of like smooth, clean, almost laundry-like. Maybe a little bit of tea in there. Definitely some florals, lilac, lavender, violet. I think it's gonna match the box and be smooth, calm. And also, I really love these boxes. It reminds me of that the like music and fruit scene and cheese from Ratatouille, which is my favorite movie. If you don't like Ratatouille, I don't like you probably, or I'm gonna be very upset. Every time I see you, and I'm like, bro, how do you not like Ratatouille? Anyways, let's get to the actual scent. New tester strip. Spray it on. It just like peed all over my desk or my table, whatever you want to call it. I like to call it my desk, but at the same time, it's just a folding table. The actual desk is way over there. I do have a nice white desk and stuff like that. It's technically not mine, but at the same time, it's not mine. You know, it's not for me, but at the same time, it's kind of mine. Confusing, I know, whatever. That is a really interesting scent. This smells like a specific jelly bean. I'm trying to remember what it is. I think it's the chocolate pudding one. Yeah, it'd be the chocolate pudding one that it smells like, and it's pretty close to that. It's really warm, calming, smooth, but not like it's not like sweet or anything like that. It's just a relaxing, maybe a little bit of licorice in there. Um, you know, not strong, not pungent or anything like that. Just smooth. It exists, and you know, it's pushing you along, keeping you steady, grounding you. Maybe a little bit earthy, like you know, maybe it's licorice root. I'm pretty sure that's a thing. I think this is really nice. How often would I wear this? I think I could see it being a Sunday scent. I could see it possibly being the rotation, maybe one out of every 10 wears at the very, very most. Um, for me, I don't think it would ever be my signature scent, but I could definitely see many people having it as their signature scent. It's almost like how black opium is, how it's got this almost like coffee sort of scent to it. I know black opium is coffee based, but this is like much more, a little bit chocolatey, a little bit richer, a little bit less perfume based, maybe a little bit more baked good. Pan au chocolat, however you say it, in that direction. And I really do like it. I really do enjoy it. Overall, scent wise, if this was stronger, it could be maybe a solid 9 out of 10. But based on how it is right now, this is a good 8 out of 10. Again, I wouldn't wear this very much, but I could definitely see it being somebody's you know, main scent. But let's get on to the next one. All right, now for my most anticipated one. This day is Monday. Now, like I said, I've gotten a pretty good idea of the notes and how it's going to smell from online. Um, that's weird. From Fragrantica, TikTok, and all that sort of stuff. You know, it's always been whenever people, you know, in the groups that I like to, you know, look in on TikTok, it's always like, you know, what's a great tea scent, and this always comes up. So I imagine, you know, smooth black tea, calming, and I'm excited to figure out how good this is and see if it could be not necessarily a signature scent, but a daily type of wear. So let's get into it. You know, I love the scent that reminds you of like rain and stuff like that. So I love the petrichors, I love the teas, I love figs, you know, clean sandalwoods. I love um, recently me and my wife have been considering going to Portland, even though I know we moved here, but we're considering, you know, going there because not only do you lose the possibility of hurricanes, you lose the possibility of tornadoes, constant humidity, constant heat. You get an actual winter and all that stuff, and it's so gorgeous there. Which it's gorgeous here. I'll say that. Like I love the beach and all that stuff, um, but there's so many negatives. Like there's not even anything to do here, which it's great that it's cheap and stuff like that. Like I said earlier, our bills are nothing. Like my salary, which is not much, it's 25 a month, covers the bills, no issues. We'd still be able to live. We wouldn't be comfortable, but we'd be living just fine. Um, no issues, just on that. So all my commission that I'm making, you know, that's real money that we can actually do things with. You know, provide for the house with, whether it be getting the couches that are our next thing up, getting things we want, getting actual groceries instead of just, you know, getting what we need for now. going out, enjoying life and stuff like that. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit more expensive up there. Well, it's going to be like double expensive up there. But at the same time, that's years ahead and it's going to be so worth it. Well, at least we'll find out. I will have a video coming out probably back next June, actually. Um, Around that time, May, June, late May, early June, stuff like that. Maybe even just mid June. We're going to be going up there, trying to scope it out and see if we like it and stuff like that. I really hope we do, because although it is expensive, I think it could be such a great place to live. Not only to raise a family, but just for me to just, you know, be happy. I think that's one of the places that would really make me happy to be in all the time. It's just having the beautiful forestry, having, calm rain all the time. You know, now that we're getting, stable and everything like that, uh, I've been realizing, yeah, although I love it here in Texas, um, and it's always going to be my home, there's better for me out there. I'm not made for Texas. I'm not made to live here. I love it and everything like that. I'm born and raised here my entire life. I've never lived in any other state. The only time I lived in another state was when I went up to basic training in in Illinois in Great Lakes, and I thought it was really cool up there. I loved the snow. I loved the cold and stuff like that. But at the same time, I was like, I didn't really get to experience any of it. So I don't know. Um, Now I'm back here, and I'm like, that was cool, but I want to experience something different. I want to really, change the scenery. I thought changing from Dallas down here to Corpus would be the move for me. And although, of course, the move, sets me up for a great life now that I have a solid, a big boy job. I'm making things happen and stuff like that. I'm making good money and all this stuff, and I'm providing for us. But that's not at the end of the day what makes me happy. At the end of the day, what's going to make me happy is, seeing everybody smile, but being happy while I make everybody else smile. Already being happy from the setting that I'm in and being able to be comfortable 100% of the time, not have to worry about, oh, it's 100 and something degrees and it's going to be so humid today whenever I go outside. The only natural disasters I'm going to have to worry about are, the possibility of a forest fire or, Yellowstone. And if Yellowstone's happening, then it's better to be up there because then I'm gone faster rather than down here where I got to worry about, the burning ash falling from the sky. That's going to be way worse. But yeah, that's definitely a goal. So I'll keep y'all updated on that. I'll keep letting y'all know, where we're going with that and everything. And yeah, anyway, let's get on to Monday. Let's talk about how it smells. Ooh, that is a really nice tea. It's like a lemon tea, almost like a lemon bar with tea in the morning. Yeah, that's really, really nice. I would 1000% daily that. I could see it being a signature scent on just about anybody. Really good, really smooth, really calming, really refreshing. A lot of people hate Mondays because it's like, oh, the week is starting back up and, I have to go back to work. But, I mean, shouldn't you be excited? You get another chance to, experience something different. You're getting more life. Whether you stay home and sleep in or you go out and just, do a job, whether it sucks or does not suck, you're getting to experience more things. You may have a sucky boss. Okay. Now you're learning how to handle somebody who's difficult more often. You may have horrible hours. There's not really a positive to that. But at the same time, you're doing things. You're working, you're earning your keep in this world. You're making it a better place by doing your job, by working hard and putting in effort, whether it be, you're in a factory, assembling things like toys. I don't know. Maybe you have long hours in a factory and you're making toys. Okay, well, you're about to make a kid's day, with your part of the process. Maybe you're in a warehouse at Amazon. The pay is not great, but at the same time, you're working long hours and all that stuff. But you're getting people their packages that they're expecting, that they're getting that dopamine from. They're loving it. If they can get that overnight and you're making that overnight happen, that's great. There's so many reasons Monday is not bad that trump over why Monday is bad. There's so many reasons why tomorrow is bad that don't trump over the reasons why tomorrow is good. There's so many reasons why yesterday is good that trump over the reasons that yesterday was bad. You know, I whenever I was in training, we were actually in separations coming back home. I thought about this thing, thought about this saying that I had made up. It's it was actually New Year's Eve, and it was, at first it was a joke, but then the more and more you think about it, you're like, that's actually pretty powerful, and it's like, no matter what, at the end of the day, it's still today and not tomorrow. So it can be applied to so many things, whether it's, you know, you, for us, it was, I need to get home, I want to go home and stuff like that. So, you can always tell yourself, hey man, this is happening today. I'm going home today. I'm getting paid today. Whatever happens, because no matter what, as soon as that clock strikes 12, it's still today. It's not tomorrow. It's still today. You know what I'm saying? Or it could be like, I don't have time. I have something due Friday. I have this big report due Friday. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Well, what day is it now? Oh, it's Monday. Okay, well, it's still today and not tomorrow. Oh, it's Thursday. Okay, well, it's still today and not tomorrow. And even when it hits tomorrow, you got time because it's still today, not tomorrow. So don't beat yourself up about times and stuff like that. Don't say, oh, I can't wait to do this. Well, of course you can't wait to do that. Build the excitement to that thing, but don't say, I don't want to do this. You know what I'm saying? Just, you're not looking forward to it. Okay, well, work as hard as you can to be ready for it. Like I said, let's get back to Monday. 1000% dailyable, 1000% signature sound worthy. This is a 10 out of 10. It's like as if Neptune's trident and imagination had a baby. Really good. I love that. On to the next day. Today is Tuesday. No. On to the next day. This day is Tuesday. I imagine Tuesday is going to be a little bit more gloomy than Monday. It's often seen as even more of a down day to me, at least, because you're coming back from the weekend, so everybody's already just upset that they had to come back from the weekend. But it's even worse because now you're stuck. Now you're a day removed from the weekend, and you're tired from yesterday, and you still have the rest of the week to look forward to. So I often see that as a gloomier day, and I assume this is going to be a lot more earthy, a lot more green, just a lot more, I guess, moody in a way. But I'm hoping it's earthy and green in a good way, where it's like, it's woodsy, it's green, it's hopeful. Yeah. Anyways, let's spray it on this strip. All right. I don't smell nothing yet. But let's get to it. Yeah, I was pretty right. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say pretty right. I would say I'm in the right direction. It's definitely green. I wouldn't say very woodsy. It's almost like a little bit of pine and geranium and maybe a little bit of mint all working together. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to consider it good because there's nothing that makes it special, which in turn makes it special because, nothing makes it different, which makes it the same as everything else, which makes it different from everything. Confusing paradox right there. I'm not going to get into that. I think it's good. There might be a little bit of lime in here almost. At least I think, If I'm ever getting these wrong, don't worry about it. The notes are probably going to be up here or up here somewhere. I never know because the camera flips, but it's not facing me today. You know, I can't see if I'm seeing myself right now. Camera's pointing at me, so I can't see, you know, the front view and stuff like that because I do these on my phone until I'm able to get a nicer camera. So it's probably actually going to be right up here, hopefully. So hopefully I'm messing with the words and it's harder to see right now. But if not, then if not. I would say this is definitely dailyable. Definitely signature scent worthy. But would I daily and signature scent it? I'd wear it daily. Well, not daily. I'd wear it on any day, but I would not signature scent it. It's good, but it's just not my it's just not my type of scent. You know, I like it, but I don't love it. So, you know, that's your give and take right there. All right, last one is a collaboration. This is between, of course, Arielle Shoshana, like the rest of the brand, but it's also with Michelle Visage. Uh, today, or no, sorry, this day is Wednesday. I imagine, at least based on the box and how I often see the ads for it, because you know Arielle. I'm sorry if I'm butchering that name. I don't mean to. You know, I want to be as nice as possible, and not mess it up. But I've been just saying it the entire time. Um, yeah, the ads that they post for it, it's always darker and you know more mysterious, and it just seems like that, especially with the way that the box is. So I'm expecting something darker a little bit, um, maybe a rose. That would be an interesting sight because we haven't, at least to my knowledge, have not had a rose at all yet. So I'm going for something rosy, slightly seductive. Wednesday is an interesting day. Very middle of the week. For me, it's an off day. So it's my break. It's my sort of personal day, or just a day to go do things with my wife, which, of course, I enjoy every time. But yeah, it's a little bit interesting. It's almost, it's very dark, almost leathery. I believe roses, but there's definitely florals in here, maybe some woods. Almost to an oud extent. Cedar, that's what I'm getting. This is definitely really enjoyable. I would not signature scent this, but this is definitely signature scent. Definitely, I wouldn't say a daily, for me at least. I wouldn't wear this on any day, but I know people would. It kind of smells like the cedar section of Home Depot, but in a little bit more seductive way. A little bit more feminine too. Yeah, this is really good. There's not much I have to say about it though. I mean, I said it. It smells like cedar, a little bit of florals, maybe some rose. Let me see if I can see any notes on here, or at least an idea from them. Not that I can see. Yeah. Um, that's the basic set. And yeah. Alright, y'all. So that's pretty much going to wrap up the main video. Let's quickly go through this real quick. They sent me also 3 little samples, which I have no idea the brands. I just know that they are named right here. So I'm going to go through them. I'm not going to smell them or anything like that. I'm just going to talk about them. This is Iantha Oud. It's a little sample vial, of course, that they sent. Thank you so much for that. This one is Wild Rorinda. It's already, I think, a 1 ml, and it's halfway. I don't know. It's really tiny and already used. And then this one is Melody, which I believe this is a 3 ml full, but it's a vial. Um, thank you so much for sending those extra samples in. You know, I didn't ask for any, so for you to be able to, for you to be willing to send me them with just a discovery set is great. I love getting samples in and stuff like that, trying stuff out, figuring out if I like it for the future, especially for these videos. It gives me more to talk about and all that. So again, thank you so much to Arielle, Shoshana, whichever it said. I don't want to butcher and be rude again. But yeah, if y'all are interested in a short form content style, I also have a TikTok. It's Marco Scar Frags, which is the same as here, but it has underscores in between Marco Scar and Car Frags. You know what I'm saying? There's just underscores in there. Of course, if you look at my name like this, I should come up. Hopefully, of course, I do fragrance content on there. It's a lot more fast paced, short form. That's mainly just for viewership. I really want people to be watching me on here because this is where I feel most comfortable and where I enjoy talking the most. This is how I started doing content, was on TikTok in really long form videos. Every video would be completely uncut and just, take forever because I'd be, whether it's stuttering or just constant just continuing the whole thing. I wouldn't even cut out me pressing the start button and all that stuff. It was as raw as it can get. And I like to do that for this. Of course, I'm going to take a little bit of cuts every once in a while and, try and cut out any dead space to make it as fluid of a video as possible. But I don't really care for editing and all that stuff. I don't care for special thumbnails. I don't care for transitions. I don't care for all that. I just like to, express the art of fragrances and share the love. Hopefully one of these days a brand decides to reach out because of these videos and send me stuff, and that makes another video, and then from there it snowballs and stuff like that. And I continue to get PR or just sent mail or even just nods from the brands, and maybe put on their profile, whether it be added as a story or added as a whole video and stuff like that. you know that's the real thing I do it for, is to get the free products and stuff like that. And then of course content itself will pay off over time by views and stuff like that. At least here it will. YouTube, I don't get views. TikTok, I don't get views like that, so it's not going to pay as much, if any, because I don't want to do TikTok shop stuff on there. But yeah, like I said, that's going to wrap up the entire video. I'm not sure if it'll be next week's video or just the next video, but I also have another discovery set, the last one, I promise, for maybe a little while. It'll be the last discovery set. And yeah, that one's got, I think, 12, maybe 13 fragrances. It's probably 12, and then they included a 13th sample. So that's gonna be really cool, and I can't wait to get into that. But yeah, I'll see y'all next week.